Hello everyone, this is the Cyclo Gamer, and I am here to showcase a fun and neat little build that I made in Stranger of Paradise, using both the Dark Knight and the Tyrant. So, the main selling point behind this build is that you'll be essentially dealing like double the magic damage that you would normally deal when you're not using Tyrant. So, to demonstrate, to kind of give you the idea of what I'm talking about, I'm going to use Dark Arts just regularly. I'm going to use it against the Goblin, and you'll see what I mean. So if I'm just using the Soul Eater ability by itself, right, when you strike, you deal two hits of damage, right, just by itself like that. So you always deal one whenever you're not using it, and then with it, you're hitting with two. So, if I can get this gremlin to stop for a second. So, with Tyrants, on the other hand, you deal additional damage. And you can see that, like, wow, that's a lot of damage. Okay? That's significantly much more than before, at least double. And that's on both the hits, right? So it's not just one, both hits. Okay. Alright. I do have a second version of this build. I have two of them. There's Darkblade Overlord and Bloodsword Overlord. The main difference between the two is that one uses the Bloodsword strictly, while the other uses both the Greatsword and the Fists. I could combine the two, but I honestly don't feel like it. But that's besides the point. Sorry. So let me demonstrate to you how this build works, because you might think this build is nothing until you actually see it used in combat. So to demonstrate what exactly you need for this build, so for the Dark Knight, because the thing is that I always have my builds set at 800% with the drop points. So they're always set at 800%. The only exception is with Gambler, which has like all the way up to 1500 at least. So basically, you're gonna want to have at least 400% Dark Knight. The other two are not really necessary, but they would be good to have as bonuses. And the thing is that Dark Knight also increases your intellect, which is good for dealing with magic damage, because that's a primary stat that you use for dealing magic damage is intellect. Then you're going to want to have 600% Greatsword, or sorry, Swordsman, which would give you reduced MP cost of Greatsword combo abilities, and then also enable the use of all weapon abilities for the Greatsword, and increases the damage dealt with Greatsword combo abilities. And then there's also increased attack speed on a successful guard. I'm not sure if that's a parry or if that's just a regular block. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what it means by enhanced guard. And then for the Dragoon, you're going to want to have at least 600%, so that you can have recovery, HP, and MP whenever you're exploiting enemy's weakness. This is good for keeping both your health and your MP up when you're fighting. And you also get the bonus of 400%. You also get the bonus of increased attack speed while Lightbringer is active with 400%, and then of course, enemies defeated by an action ability, which Dark Arts is, or Soul Eater is, will be finished with a Soul Burst. And this combined with the 400% Cyclic Warrior will keep your Lightbringer duration active, especially if you're using Infinite Lightbringer, which I am using in this build. And of course, you can also have 400% Paladin. It's not required, but it is good to have for HP restorative effects while Lightbringer is active, and also making you immune to status elements. Berserker you kind of don't need. I just have it in here for the additional strength, but also for the 250%, because it automatically grants the effects of Protect and Shield when you're death. And when you have 400% Dark Knight, which is, all effects that trigger when you're death are active at all times, you get basically infinite Protect and Shield. And then 250% Breaker for applies an additional strength bonus to all abilities that grant stat bonuses, which I may not have thought about that well because, yeah, because I don't have actually any stat bonuses on any of my stuff. I could if I wanted to. Maybe I could just replace the dark damage with strength, but yeah. So I would say like probably like these two are not really needed. If you want to have them, that's fine, especially for if you're still not as far as I am into the game, or if you're not have Infinite Linebringer. This is basically basically the primary ones are just 400% Cyclic Warrior, 600% Dragoon, and then 400% Dark Knight. That's basically the primary ones you need. You can have, if you're using the Great Sword, have 600% Swordsman as well. And as for the stats, we got on the gear we have damage dealt Soul Eater, damage dealt Greatsword combo ability, dark damage dealt, enemy weakness damage dealt, near death damage dealt. If you want to switch dark damage dealt out for something else, you can. I just have it there to deal additional dark damage. That's how it is on all of my. Oh, except for this one. This has physical break damage dealt, which is not supposed to be there, but I guess. But that's how it is on basically most of my stuff. So basically you're gonna want damage dealt Soul Eater, damage dealt Greatsword combo ability, dark damage dealt, enemy weakness damage dealt, or physical break damage dealt if you want to go for that, and then your death damage dealt. That's basically the primary ones you have. My primary my primary blessing is Ifrit, so that when you're dealing when you're attacking and then you press R2 at the right moment, when you see like a red flash, you'll deal additional damage. Like your combo abilities can be set up however you want to. I use Skybreaker a lot. It's like one of my favorite combo abilities for the Greatsword, as well as Spinning Slash. So that I would recommend having Spinning Slash if you can, so that when you're using it in conjunction with the Dark Arts ability, you'll deal additional damage. Everything else is entirely optional. You don't need those. And for the command abilities, you've got Magic Arts, you've got Lunatic, you've got Mighty Strikes. I'd recommend having Mighty Strikes just in case you need to keep up the because in this way you'll be able to always be dealing weak damage, enemy weakness damage, and then if you want to or if you also want to, I'd recommend having Magic Arts so that it increases MP recovery when landing a successful hit, and each hit extends the duration of the effect, so that way you can keep it up. If you're not using Infinite Livebringer, you can also maybe swap it out for Lancet, but because you have 600%, but because I have 600% Dragoon, that basically gives you Lancet as like a passive ability. But maybe if you use Lancet on top of that, it could double its effect. But because you're dealing 2 hits each time whenever you're using Dark Hearts instead of 1, that effect is already doubled, so maybe having it quadruples it, I don't know. So, yeah, basically Lunatic and Magic Arts, and then Mighty Strikes. You don't need to use that one. I use Lightbringer, of course, because we get to the second job. Yeah, this uses Infinite Lightbringer. So yeah, this uses Infinite Lightbringer. If you've seen that video on the tutorial on my Infinite Lightbringer and how it works. Basically, it's just basically you just need those required affinities to make it to where you can spam Lightbringer and also have the primary blessing be Leviathan. I also use the Lionheart accessory on both of them. They're the exact same Lionheart accessory too. It's not another variation of the same one. So this way I have 400% Knight, and so as long as I have Lightbringer active, I'm always invincible. Now as for the second job, I'm using the base version of Tyrant, and the reason why is because I want to have access to all 8 of the elements. Like this build is very good if you're going up against like elementals or enemies that have specifically weak to certain elements and stuff like that, which not all enemies in this game actually are. So it's very good in that regard, but I do use the base version of Tyrant instead of the Lunarian or the Magic version, because the thing is that both in Luna and in Magic, they consume MP with every attack. And in my experience, that dropped fast. It dropped my MP fast to the point that I could not spam Lightbringer, and it would honestly kill me. And I would be like At low MP, I'm like, oh crap, my stuff's gone, and I just get screwed because I play with the trial settings on. You know, as for the equipment effects, basically just improved enchant, improved effect enchant, which I think increases the amount of, like, increases the rate at which you can and inflict an elemental weakness onto an enemy. I think that's what it does, or maybe it deals additional elemental damage. I'm not sure. It doesn't actually state what improved effect enchant does, but yeah, I basically have improved effect enchant, charge time reduction enchant, and then I have during Lightbringer break damage dealt, Lightbringer duration, and then status element accumulation. That is basically the primary gears that I have, and on all of them, and that's it. So to give you a demonstration, and like I said, I play with the trials on. I'm going to go to a different mission. Well, I suppose I could demonstrate against this guy exactly how it would play, but he can't die. So, yeah, probably best to just go do it in that one mission. So, I'm going to do it here. And I have the audio off so that my voice comes in clearer.
Time for a change.
Oh, I didn't realize I had to... Dang it. Okay. So, just gonna get the fight started. Pop Lightbringer. Wait for him to attack, so I can quickly build it up. Come on, hit me again. Okay. There we go. That's good. So then just pop, really take my strikes, hit again, pop my cards. And usually my strategy is I go with Dark first. And then I get the enemy weak to darkness damage first. And then I go for whatever their actual elements are weak to, in this case fire, because my balls are weak to fire. Then I switch to Dark Knight, activate Dark Art or Exfoliator, and just go ham. Yeah, and again, that's my trial settings. Like, that's how good this thing is. Alright. And I'm going to use this on the goblins, because they're also weak to fire. And yeah, because you have the 400% Dragoon, you don't have to soul burst enemies directly. You just get their health all the way down, and it'll just soul burst automatically. Yeah, that's how crazy. Without the trial settings, like, the enemies just go down fast. Like, you'll go through them like a chainsaw. So, get this, or no. Yeah, let's go with fire again. Okay, hold on. Put my MP back up. That. Yeah, like that's how it works. And with 800%, 600% Tyrant, you can also, like, when you chain cancel, you can give yourself an effect, I think. Didn't seem to work there. Okay, yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, there we go. Okay. You can also give yourself an effect to where you'll recover additional MP with each attack. Yeah, this thing is powerful and crazy good. And because of the weakness damage, you deal double weakness damage hits. So 2 weakness damage hits with Dark Arts. I believe these guys are weak to wind, so let's go switch to wind. Okay. This one, I do not know what this one looks like. Okay. Oh, I have the darkness only now, so I'm like dealing 2 hits of darkness damage. Which I suppose is actually much better if I have the darkness damage dark damage dealt thing as one of my. And maybe I can switch it up with magic damage dealt instead. Okay. These guys are weak to fire, I think. And then let's keep fighting. I think the next one is the bomb. The next major boss. Yeah. So gonna hit this guy with dark. And then hit him with water. That's his weakness. So he takes additional water damage. The top line burner is my god is really low. Yeah, for bosses, I do the weakness appliance method with the Tyrant. For regular enemies, not really. It depends, though. Okay, these guys are weak to fire spells. These ones are weak to lightning. Oh, there's still one left. Okay, that was cool. I just sludged him in the air. He's floating. Okay, now this one is actually weak to darkness. So we're gonna hit him twice. Skybreaker, there we go. Alright, now these guys, I think, they're weak to both earth and light, and as well as wind, but I'm going to use holy. And with this. Okay, then there's just the plan. Oh, I love that. Using Rising Eden, flying them up to the air and they explode. That's so cool. But that's basically it. Without the trials, those enemies would be just paced, completely paced, if they weren't paced already. So that's basically how it works. Yeah. So if you're looking for a good Dark Knight build, I'd recommend this.